So let's evaluate these logarithms without a calculator. Remember, we know that if log base b of x is equal to y, then we can confidently say it's always true that b to the y power is always equal to x. So let's walk through this. We know that my base is 1 over 9. So that means that 1 over 9 is going to be the base of my exponent. We're going to say this is equal to x. And it could be any letter you want to represent with any variable. I just chose x. You could choose y, p, q, whatever you want. But we're going to say that that's equal to x. So that means that my number that the log is equal to, that's going to be the exponent of my exponential form. And then 81 is going to be what the exponent is equal to, which is 81. So the question now is, how do I go from 1 to the 9th power, only applying an exponent to it, and then getting 81? Well, I do know that 9 to the 2nd power is equal to 81. But if I raise this to the 2nd power, this would become 1 over 81. Well, if you remember, anytime I have x to the negative 1 power, what that does is it inverts the fraction and it flips it over. So we're actually going to have to kind of do a combination of these things. I need to raise it to the 2nd power so that it becomes 81, but I also need a negative exponent so that it flips the fraction. So if I do 1 over 9 to the negative 2nd power, what happens there is that becomes 9 over 1 to the 2nd power, right? The negative flipped it, so now it's positive 2. And then 9 over 1 to the 2nd power is just 81. So this answer works here. We can now confidently say x is equal to negative 2. So log base 1 over 9 of 81 is equal to negative 2. Let's go ahead and let's look at this one over here as well. My base is 81, so I'm going to write 81 as the base of my exponent. Again, we're just going to say it's equal to some variable, and just to mix it up, let's say it's equal to m. Well, m is my answer that the log is equal to, so m is going to be the exponent in my exponential form. And then 9 is going to be the answer that my exponent is equal to. And so now we can do a little bit of math here. Well, 81 to what power gets me 9? Well, I know that 9 to the 2nd power is equal to 81, but what power do I need to raise 81 to get 9? Well, some of you may recognize that the square root of 81 is 9. And how do we represent the square root of 81 in exponential form? Well, remember, the square root of x is just pretty much equal to x to the 1/2 power. So what we can do is we can say m is 1/2, because if I do that, that's just like saying the square root of 81 is equal to 9, which we know is true. The 1/2 power is the square root, so we just need to keep that in mind when we need to find out what this exponent is. Because if I just write m is equal to the square root, well, that's not an exponent value. I need to figure out what it is, and half is the exponent of a square root. So we can now say that m is equal to 1/2, which means log base 81 of 9 is equal to 1/2. And again, you can always check these in your calculator to make sure that you're right. But the idea here is to not use your calculator by mastering converting it into exponential form to and from logarithmic form. Well, I hope this helps, and thanks for watching.